Hello viewers, you're welcome to this very important lecture series on the protozoans. In today's lecture, we'll look at the introductory part of this topic or these organisms, the protozoans, and we'll also look at their general characteristics and their classification. So what are protozoans? Protozoans are basically a collection of unicellular animal-like eukaryotic organisms with heterotrophic nutrition. A collection of unicellular animal-like eukaryotic organisms. Now, what are unicellular organisms? Unicellular organisms are organisms that have just one cell. Organisms that possess just one cell are referred to as unicellular organisms, and the protozoans are said to be animal-like because they have characteristics of the animals. They have locomotor organelles that are able to enable them to move from one place to another. Their mode of nutrition is heterotrophic instead of being autotrophic, and they have many other characteristics of the animals. And though having these characteristics, they are not multicellular, they are unicellular. Animals are metazoans having many cells, while these ones do not have more than one cell. So they are classified as protozoans. And they are said to be eukaryotic because they have a membrane-bound nucleus. The protozoan cells have a nucleus that have a nuclear membrane that encloses the genetic material, the DNA or the chromosome. The protozoans are also known to exhibit heterotrophic nutrition, not being able to produce their own food. They either engulf their prey or food or feed in other ways, but they cannot manufacture their own food. So that's not applicable to all. There are some protozoans that can actually manufacture their food or combine both autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. The protozoans actually constitute a sub kingdom in the kingdom Protoctista. They belong to the kingdom Protoctista, and they belong to a sub-kingdom known as the Protozoa. In the kingdom Protoctista, we have the kingdom Protophyta, that's plant-like organisms, the sub-kingdom Protophyta, the sub-kingdom Protozoa, which is made up of animal-like protozoans. Then we have the molds, the slime molds, which are fungal-like protozoans. So these protozoans are actually unicellular organisms that exhibit traits that are found in animals. So they are protozoans. The protozoans are not animals, but they are minute microscopic animals. Most protozoans are microscopic. They are microscopic. They are not classified into the kingdom Animalia because of the fact that they are unicellular, but they have all the characteristics of the animals. They are among the simplest of all living organisms. The protozoans are among the simplest of all living organisms. Protozoans are ubiquitous, especially in moist and aquatic habitats. They are very abundant in moist and aquatic habitats. Most protozoans are free-living organisms. Many are symbiotes of other organisms, and about a third of the living species are parasites, and some are predators of bacteria and algae. Most of the protozoans are actually free-living organisms. Okay, they live freely in aquatic habitat, in moist environments, while some are symbionts. They live within other organisms, having a symbiotic relationship with them, while 1/3 of these protozoans are parasites, and some are predators of bacteria and algae. Now, they want to look at the characteristics of protozoans. The characteristics of protozoans include: one, the protozoans do not have a cell wall. They are animal-like organisms, and as such, they do not have the cell wall that's common to the protophyta or other plant cells. They are animal-like organisms. Protozoans vary in size and shape. Some are microscopic, while some are large enough to be seen with the naked eyes. Protozoa prefer living in moist and aquatic habitats. They prefer to live in moist and aquatic habitats. They proliferate, they live, they're able to survive more in moist and aquatic habitats. The life cycle of protozoa changes between proliferative stages and dormant cysts. Okay, they have two life phases, the proliferative stage and the dormant cyst stage. Now, the proliferative stage is when the organism is active, while the dormant stage is when it becomes dormant and it's an adaptation to survive harsh environmental conditions. So when a protozoan transforms from the proliferative stage to a dormant stage, it is called encystation. Okay, the proliferative stage is called the trophozoite. Usually, it's called the transformation of the trophozoite to the dormant cyst stage is called encystation. While when it transforms back from the cysts, the dormant cyst to the proliferative stage, it means it is called excistation. Excistation. One other characteristic of the protozoans is that the mode of nutrition of protozoa is heterotrophic, and most species obtain food by phagocytosis. Okay, protozoans exhibit heterotrophic nutrition. They are able to manufacture their own food, and as such, they have to consume food that's manufactured by plant-like organisms or by plants. And most species, especially the amoebas, are able to obtain food through phagocytosis. They obtain food by engulfing their prey. Protozoans digest their food in spaces called vacuoles. They digest their foods in spaces called vacuoles. Protozoan species move on their own by one of three types of locomotor organelles, such as flagella, cilia, or pseudopodia. They move either with flagella or cilia or pseudopodia. And that's one of the bases for the classification of the protozoans into various groups. Protozoa reproduce by the method of binary fission or multiple fission. Okay, binary fission basically means when an organism duplicates its genetic material and eventually splits into two daughter cells that grow to become an adult cell. While multiple fission is when the organism splits into several more than two parts, different cells. That's multiple fission. Some of the members reproduce by asexual mode, some by sexual means, and some by both. There are some protozoans that reproduce asexually. Some, particularly the paramecia, are able to reproduce sexually, while some combine both sexual and asexual reproduction. Now, classification of protozoans. Classification of the protozoans. Based on the mode of locomotion, protozoa have been divided into 4 types consisting of 10 phyla. The 4 types are basically the amoeboid protozoans or the amoeboids, the ciliate protozoans, the flagellate protozoans, and the sporozoans. Now, among the amoeboid protozoans, we have 3 phyla, the phylum Sarcodina or Sarcomastigophora, which consists of the true amoebas, then the phylum Actinopoda, or that are called the radiolarians. The Actinopoda is also called the phylum Radiozoa. Then we have the phylum Foraminifera, which consists of the foraminiferans. Now, the flagellate protozoans are classified into 4 phyla, and the phyla that possess a phyla of protozoans that possess flagella for locomotion. That's the flagellate. One, the phylum Euglenozoa, which consists of the euglena, the phylum Dinoflagellata, called the dinoflagellates, the phylum Parabissalia, then the phylum Diplomonada that has the diplomonas. The ciliate protozoans or ciliophorans are classified into one phylum, phylum Ciliophora, while the phylum Sporozoa is classified into the phyla. The ciliate protozoans are classified into the phylum Epicomplaxer and Acetosporia. Now, typical examples of the euglenozoa is the euglena. Now, we have been able to successfully look at the introductory part of the phylum of the protozoans. In subsequent videos, we'll look at different protozoan groups and their classification and their distinctive features. Thanks for watching this video. Please continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.